YouTube, how you doing? Murph here bringing you another product review. Today's review is on the Ghost M1. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Ghost, they are a subsidiary of Clutch Gaming Chairs. They branched off a few years ago to do gaming mice and keyboards, and they're most well known for their collaborations with high-profile content creators, people such as PewDiePie, which is the model of the M1 mouse that I have here today. This mouse came bundled with the Ghost A1 keyboard, the PewDiePie version that I reviewed just a couple of weeks ago. And they also sell this model separately, but this mouse primarily comes in black and white. This version is also a little bit more expensive than their normal version. I think it's like an extra $10 or $20. This version in black and white retails for $59.99, and it's marketed as a super lightweight wired gaming mouse. Let's start off with talking about the design and build quality. As far as the build quality is concerned, as with other gaming mice at this price point, it's pretty good. I noticed no bending or flex on the top or side plates. After about 2 weeks of use, I've noticed no creaking or anything like that in the buttons. The buttons do have a nice tactile click to them, and they're very responsive, and there's not a whole lot of post travel on those. This is a symmetrical mouse, but it's not a true ambidextrous mouse because the side buttons are only located on the left-hand side, and the left buttons are not too bad. I do notice that they are a little mushier than I would typically like, but they still do retain a nice tactile click on those as well. It does come with a paracord style cable, so that adds to this mouse being pretty lightweight, and it's not going to bunch up too much on you or anything like that. Other than just a slight mushiness of the side buttons, the only other build quality complaint that I might have is that this mouse does have individual steps in the scroll wheel, which is nice. That's actually what I prefer. I don't like the infinity scroll wheels where you can't feel those individual steps. So that is a positive with this mouse. However, I notice almost a slight grinding when I'm using the scroll wheel on this mouse. It's very subtle. I didn't even notice it until I had been using it for a while. But once I noticed it, it was hard to not notice it whenever I was scrolling through a web page or playing a game or something like that. It's not bad, but it's not something that I typically feel when using other scroll wheels. Now, as far as the design, I really like the design of this mouse. It's really cool. This PewDiePie version obviously has the swirl markings all the way around, but even in black and white, this mouse looks really good. It does feature those hexagonal cutouts that we see on a lot of other lightweight gaming mice. You can see there the Ghost emblem on the bottom. And one cool thing that I do like about this mouse, you'll notice that this mouse does have a good bit of RGB, which is nice. But one of my favorite features is, if you can see inside the mouse there is an LED fist symbol for this PewDiePie edition. That won't be a fist if you get the normal white or black model, but it will be the Ghost emblem. So you do have an LED emblem inside of the case that you can see through the back as well. I think that's pretty cool. Now, this mouse is marketed as weighing in under 65 grams, and I weighed it myself, and the particular one I have here weighed in at 63 grams, so that was good. I found that to be accurate. And this mouse does feature a PixArt 3389, which is a solid sensor to have in this mouse. And it's got an average response time of under 1 millisecond, so it's going to be really solid for gaming. I would say this mouse would be solid for anyone with medium to large size hands. If you have smaller hands, you might have a little bit of trouble with the mouse. It would still be usable, but probably not ideal. And the mouse for most people is going to be good for both palm and claw style grips. And I typically use a hybrid grip, and it feels really good for me as well. So overall, a really well-rounded mouse. Now let's talk about the software and RGB functions of this mouse. The software was a little difficult to find, but I will post a link to the software in the description down below. Now, once you download and open up the software, this is what you're going to be presented with. And you can see here on the bottom left, you can add up to 3 different profiles on this mouse. And then up here on the left, you can assign different buttons to different actions, and you have a full-on macro editor should you need it. On the right-hand side, you can see at the top tab here are your DPI settings. You can adjust these as needed, and you can also change the RGB color to whatever you want to represent what your DPI setting is at. And the way that works here is This top middle button right here will change your DPI settings on the fly, and it will switch between the 6 that you have preloaded here and the emblem in the back, the RGB emblem we talked about earlier, as well as the scroll wheel will light up different colors to let you know what your current DPI setting is. So I just hit it, it turned purple. You can see purple represents 3200 DPI. Red is 400, blue is 800, back to green is 1600, and you can change those DPI settings as well as which color is assigned to which. Down below that tab, you have your lighting. And just to give you an idea of what this looks like, I will give you just a little bit of a different angle here. So this is colorful streaming. This is steady, and you can select your color here as well. If you want to do purple, orange, green, whatever color you prefer. And you can also adjust the brightness on this as well. Breathing. And you can adjust the speed on that. Colorful tail. Neon. Colorful steady. Flicker. Stars twinkle. Wave. And of course you can turn it off altogether. One thing to note here, and the main reason I had to switch that camera angle, is the only LEDs that this affects is this back strip right here. You're gonna control that in your lighting. Like I said before, the wheel and the emblem in the back is in accordance to your DPI settings. So you're not gonna be able to control RGB functions of those two things. If you want to switch the color of those, the only way to do that is to assign a color to your favorite DPI setting. Like if I want to leave it at 1600 here and then come over and switch it to blue. So those RGB functions are going to control that back strip LED right there. Now you can also come in here and adjust your mouse parameters, adjusting your mouse sensitivity, your scrolling speed, your double click speed. And here you have your polling rate, which is set to 500 by default. I would go ahead and set that to 1000 if you prefer. The one disconnect that I do see is I'm not sure which overrides which, because if you see here on the bottom, you have your polling rate listed right here, and it's currently set on 1000. So I don't really know what happens if this is set at 1000 and then I come into the software and set it at, say, 500. I don't know if this overrides the software or vice versa. But the best way to just take care of that is if you want it at 1000, just set both to 1000 and you'll be good to go on that. And that's it as far as the software is concerned. Now, I've been using this mouse for a couple of weeks now, and I have to say it's a pretty good mouse. I don't have any major complaints. Again, the side buttons are a little mushy. There is a little bit of a grind in that scroll wheel that some people may not even notice, but for me it did kind of dampen the experience a little bit. Now the question is, would I recommend this mouse? And the answer to that question is no. Ghost is not exactly a big name company. There are a lot of people that are watching this right now that have probably never even heard of Ghost. That's not always an issue, but in this case I found their website to be just a little basic. Also, I've had some issues contacting their customer service here recently in regards to their Ghost A1 keyboard. I had an issue with my order. It wasn't a big issue, but they basically just sent me the wrong version of what I ordered. And I sent an email to them like 3 weeks ago and they still haven't gotten back to me. And then I actually had a question about the sensor that they put in this mouse. I emailed them about a week ago and I still haven't heard back. I then went online to do a quick search and I found that a lot of people have issues contacting their customer service and getting any kind of reply back that's not something automated or even a reply at all. you probably won't have any issues, but if you are sent the wrong order or you do have a warranty complaint or something like that, do be aware that it could potentially take you a while to get a reply from this company. So getting in contact with the customer service is one reason why I may shy away from recommending this mouse. Another reason, and the main reason, is that lightweight gaming mice, especially the wired variety, are pretty popular right now, and you can find a lot of different options at different price points. And this mouse being $60, it's not exactly a bad pricing model for this mouse. I think $60 is pretty fair for what you're getting. But there's other lightweight gaming wired mice on the market, specifically the Glorious Model O, which comes in at $50. And that typically is what I recommend to anyone looking for a lightweight wired gaming mouse, just because the quality of that mouse, the software that it uses, and the price is so hard to beat. And the fact that this mouse comes in $10 over that one, I would probably recommend that mouse over this one. And it's not just the Glorious Model O, there are other models out there that you can find that are probably going to meet, if not exceed, the quality of this mouse for about the same, if not a cheaper price. It's not a bad mouse. If you bought it, I'm sure you wouldn't regret it. There's nothing inherently wrong about it, but there are better options for the same or less money, and from companies that probably offer better customer service and a better buying experience and all of that as well. So it's just stuff to keep in mind. And that pretty much wraps up this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please like this video, and if you want to see other content like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button as well. Also, I'll be leaving a list of my socials in the description, but if you follow anything, make sure you join that Discord server. It's really a one-stop shop for this channel. You'll be notified of anytime I post new videos on YouTube. Anytime I go live on Twitch, you'll be the first to know of any giveaways that are going on. You can get help setting up streams if that's something you're trying to get assistance with, or you can just hang out, chat, try to find people to play games with, anything like that. If you guys have any questions or comments about this review, put them in the comment section and I will get to those as quickly as possible. YouTube, we'll catch you later.